A group of green extremists invades a Cambridge laboratory. A terrified scientist begs the extremists not to release the experimental monkeys, because they are infected with the rage virus. Nevertheless, one of the extremists opens the cage, and the chimpanzee that jumps out bites the woman. The unknown infection instantly affects her body, and she attacks the other extremists and the scientist. 28 days later, the main character Jim comes to his senses, in the intensive care unit of the hospital. He convinces himself that not only the hospital, but also the city of London are deserted by people. Everywhere there are consequences of mass riots and chaos. Jim stumbles upon a newspaper, where it says, "Evacuation, residents leave London." Jim enters a church, where he is attacked by zombies. He is saved by two survivors, Selina and Mark, throwing bottles with incendiary mixture at the infected. Reaching the shelter, they tell Jim that during the 4-week epidemic, all of England was filled with infected people who attacked the uninfected. There were reports of infection in Paris and New York, after which contact with civilization was lost. Jim says that he is a courier, got into an accident and came to himself already in the hospital. He asks Selina and Mark to take him home, hoping that his parents are still alive. The next day, the trio sets out on a hike, but upon reaching their destination, they find that Jim's parents committed suicide by drinking sleeping pills. The heroes decide to spend the night in the house, as it is very dangerous to move around the city at night. Jim watches a video, attracting the attention of his infected neighbors, Mr. Bridges and his daughter. Mark kills the zombies, but one manages to bite him on the arm. Selina kills the shocked Mark and explains to Jim that it takes 20 seconds to turn into a zombie. Jim and Selina notice flashes of Garland in the window of a high-rise building. They go to the signal and find refuge in an apartment of two survivors, Frank and his daughter Hannah. They hear a radio message. A group of soldiers fortified themselves at a checkpoint near Manchester, and calls on survivors to join them, promising safety and a vaccine against infection. The heroes reach the outpost, but Frank becomes infected. Arriving soldiers shoot Frank and take the survivors to a secluded mansion, where a group of soldiers under the command of Major West is entrenched. The officer offers Jim and the girls to settle down with them and wait until all the infected die of hunger. To understand when this will happen, soldiers kept alive their infected friend nicknamed Postman, chaining him in the backyard. At night, zombies attack the mansion, but soldiers repel the attack. Heated by battle, Corporal Mitchell harasses Selina. Major West stops the ensuing scuffle and tells Jim that he promised his soldiers women, because without women there is no future. Realizing that they were lured into a monstrous trap, Jim rushes to the women, but soldiers lock Jim and Sergeant Farrell, who stood up for him, in a cell. Farrell suggests that normal life continues in the world, and Britain is quarantined. The next morning Mitchell and Private Jones take Farrell and Jim into the woods to shoot them. Inexperienced Jones pierces Farrell with a burst of fire, barely missing Corporal Mitchell, who knocks down Private Jones in anger, not noticing how Jim runs away. Jim hides from pursuit among corpses and gets out beyond walls of mansion. He notices a passing jet plane. Mitchell tells Jones that unarmed Jim is already dead. Soldiers return to mansion. Jim turns on siren at outpost. Major West and Private Davis rush to Jeep to checkpoint. Jim kills Davis, disables Jeep and drives away in Frank's car to mansion. Fighting off pack of zombies, Major runs to mansion. Soldiers are going to have sex with Selina and Hannah. Selina manages to give Hannah a horse dose of sedative to save girl from psychological trauma. Jim breaks Postman's chain with machine gun burst. Freed zombie infects Private Clifton. Chaos reigns in mansion. Jim kills Jones and Mitchell and takes women to car, but their Major West awaits them. He shoots Jim down, but Hannah behind wheel drives up to Postman. Zombie drags his former commander out of car. Selina and Hannah take dying Jim to hospital, where they feverishly try to resuscitate him. 28 days later Jim wakes up in country house. Exhausted infected lie on roads. A fighter plane flies past house. Jim, Selina and Hannah quickly lay out word. Hello. On ground with cloth. Pilot notices signal and asks to send helicopter. Did you enjoy the movie? If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more movie summaries. We will do our best to bring you a new summary every day, so stay tuned and don't miss out. Thank you for watching and see you next time.